Yo, guys, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? I hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome to the Traders Reality Show. My name is Tino. Let's have a conversation. So, guys, tonight's video is just to summarize a whole week in crypto. What has crypto been up to? Specifically, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few altcoins. But the purpose of this video is to really bring some light into helping you understand what has happened so that we can work out what is likely to happen next. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we will never say Bitcoin is going to go to this point or Ethereum or XRP. We will never say with guarantee that it's going to go to a certain point in the chart, but we will look to see if we can improve the probability of it actually going in that direction based on a number of confluences. Now, if you are new to the channel, guys, I may be speaking a little bit of jargon towards you, or if you are completely new to trading full stop, be sure to subscribe. There's a plethora of playlists. I've got more playlists than Spotify in this channel, but the playlists have got information that are going to help you understand and get up to date with how to understand the way the market works. Okay? So without further ado, let's have a conversation to understand what's been going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of the week, you can see bright as day, Bitcoin came out from what day? On the 8th of the 8th of November. We saw a nice move to the upside with Bitcoin, okay? Everyone was itching towards the all-time highs, and you know what? They got it, okay? They moved price higher, little bit of a retrace, and they shifted all the way to the upside, which was a couple of days ago on the 10th, and they made a new all-time high. Now, Bitcoin is quite notorious for hitting a high and pulling back very sharply. Why? This coin is fashionable. That means everyone talks about it, everyone goes to it, when it comes to talking about cryptocurrency. All right, take any provider out there, whether it's an exchange, brokers, you name it, they're all going to push the idea of Bitcoin first because it's the only coin that people understand. Okay, they get it. It's a digital currency. All right, it's digital money, and people that are new to cryptocurrency, the first thing they're going to do is work out what Bitcoin is. Okay, now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that just doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the only currency that you can actually get involved in. You have the altcoins, you've got Ethereum, XRP, to name a few, ladies and gentlemen. All right, but what I'm trying to do today is to help you guys who have been with me for quite some time to understand the behavior of what the market makers have done. Now, the market maker is not no conspiracy, he's not no mystical person, okay? He's a liquidity provider. You need to understand, in order to buy, someone has to sell, okay? Now, the best way for me to put this to anybody new to the channel is like this. This is retail trader box number 1. This is market maker number 2. And in the middle, you have an exchange, okay? For the nature of this demonstration, we're going to call this Binance, okay? And we're going to call this retail trader Steve, all right? So Steve comes to the platform of Binance and he's been hearing about cryptocurrency. So he goes to Binance and says, I want to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. Binance then takes that order and pumps it over to the market maker. The market maker then decides to ping back the same money, okay, or the order equivalent back to Binance. Binance then provides that order to the retail trader, aka Steve, okay? So this is the journey of what happens when you go to Binance and place an order. Binance go to the market maker provides the liquidity back to Binance to the retail trader. The retail trader has a long position. Now, a long position is a buy, okay? The retail trader favors price to go higher. Now, in order for the retail trader to make money, price has to rise. When it's rising and making money on its position, so your $100 position is now in profit of $150, okay? So you've earned yourself $50 on your trade. Now the question is, where does that $50 come from? Now that $50 comes from the contract that the market maker gave against you, because before you can buy, someone has to sell. So the market maker gives you the opposite of your order. Why? Because when your position goes in your favor to the upside, the position that is against you is going to have the liquidity there for you to take as a profitable position. Okay? So when your position is positive $50, the market maker's position is negative $50. Now, the one thing that I bang on about in this channel is if you are in a profitable position, pay yourself. Why? Because there's no guarantee that that profitable position is going to stay profitable. Because remember, the market maker does the opposite of what everyone does. When the price is rising, the market maker is preparing to go short because he goes short from the highest possible point in the chart. All right? He wants to grab the shorts. Now, shorts are where you favor price to go down. He's not going to grab his shorts at the lowest point of the chart. He's going to grab them from the highest point in the chart, manipulate the zones, and send price down so that he can realize a return on his investment. Okay? Likewise, if your trading position long is actually going down and you're minus $50, the market maker's position is positive $50. So when you sell your position, the market maker buys it back because he originally set up a contract against yours, which means that when you go long, he goes short. So when your position is profitable, you're taking his money. When your position is negative, he's taking yours. Now, once you understand that aspect in the chart, you'll then be able to come over to the chart itself and understand the behavior of the market maker and work out points in the chart where he's likely to stop sending price higher because he wants it to go down lower so he can capitalize on all of his positions to the upside that he's been building shorts from. The same goes for when price is dropping. You can only sell if someone buys. You can't walk into an empty shop and demand the guy standing at the counter with nothing to sell to you and say to him, I want to buy everything in this shop. He'll look at you and say, I'm finding it a hard time being here already because there's nothing for me to sell to anyone. But what position do you think you're in for you to come in here and ask to buy everything when there's nothing to buy? There's no market. That's why they have got the title market maker, because they make the market. They are the liquidity provider. Don't believe me? Go and Google what's a liquidity provider. Search for a company like TradeStation and go to their crypto exchange section and they'll ask, in the frequently asked questions, they will say, where do you get your exchange from? How do you set it up? What's the story? Tell me about it. And it will say they get their exchange abilities by market makers, liquidity providers, okay? And the only reason they have to do that is because as a retail trader, we personally can't go to a market maker because we don't bring enough volume, okay? This is a business, ladies and gentlemen. However, this business has repeatable patterns. Why? Because human behavior doesn't change. So how can we understand Bitcoin's behavior over this past week to work out what it's likely to do next? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the market maker has been marking up price to the upside. Everyone should be asking themselves, why is it every time Bitcoin makes an all-time high, it always pulls back? Because that is where most interest is by the retail trader to start buying. See, unfortunately, all the retail trading books all tell people that when price is rising, that's when you actually start buying. It's a bit flawed, okay? Because you're making the assumption that when price hits an all-time high, it's going to continue hitting that all-time high. Now, don't get me wrong. There are altcoins out there that once they hit an all-time high, they don't stop. And that's because people are stepping in and putting money whilst price is rising. So the market maker is doing a fine job of trapping as many people as he can. Check this out. If we have a look at one of the good winners for today and the altcoin bosses, okay, we will understand. Look at Mana, okay? Mana, since earlier on yesterday, from the New York session, okay? The New York session was closed, all right? It was Veterans Day. Mad love and respect to all the veterans out there. But they were moving price higher and higher and higher. And we can tell this by the green and blue vector candles. A vector candle itself implies there has been a large, more than average exchange of price at a particular point in the chart. So market makers are renowned for going short at the highest possible point. Now they start their shorts from low points in the chart because from previous orders that they went long, they're going to close those positions on the way up, because they go long when price is dropping and they go long, they go short as price is rising. So what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is when something goes up, the market maker is taking profit from a previous position that was going down. And when something is going down, he's making profit from a previous position that was going up. If you come to the live streams, ladies and gentlemen, I explain this all the time with real-time examples so you'll understand it clearer, okay? Now, going back to Bitcoin, just to understand what's happened today. Right. Bitcoin. From last night, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about this last night in the stream, okay? But this was the projection. I was anticipating from the high up here, okay, that Bitcoin was going to drop. I was going to see a retrace and then a continuation to the downside, okay, which was the low ADR. Now, the reason why I made the assumption that Bitcoin was likely to come down to this point, because there was an imbalance in the chart. This is a wick. Now, this was previously a red wick. Sorry, a red candlestick. It was all the way down here. But then the market makers shifted price back up. The only way they could have achieved by hitting this wick, okay, and creating it, is if someone went short down here. At the same time, there are people that went long as well. All right? But the market maker can only really encourage people to go short so that he can go long is if he creates fear. He creates urgency. He makes people think, oh no, Bitcoin is collapsing. Now, YouTube is pretty good at making that message loud and clear. But if you look, the market maker attacks the zone. One, he encourages retail traders to step in. Bitcoin's dropping, close your positions and go short. Because they tell you to go short when price is dropping. Don't understand why. They continue with the move. So now there is a euphoric state in crypto. People are trying to sell Bitcoin. They're trying to short it because they think it's going to go all the way down to 20K. Fair enough. They continue lower. The commitment by the retail trader is now at its highest point because they've gone all the way down here and they've wicked out the zone and come back to a previous pool of liquidity, which we will talk about in a second, and then they snapped it back up. All the retail traders that went short had liquidation points all in these zones right here. Okay, as you can see. These zones here, this zone, and this zone. All right? They then contain price and then they bring it back towards the 50 EMA. Then, from the 50 EMA, the fact that they have brought price all the way back up but not tested the 50 EMA, we anticipated that they would either contain this zone and move up and down like so, or they were going to make a nice clean break to the downside and hit this zone right here. Okay? The wick as the imbalance needed to be realized because they can't allow this wick, okay, to be an anomaly in the chart. There were orders sat there, so they need to bring it back into fair value to level out the order book. They always have to level out the order book, okay? Now, when you look at the chart itself, you can see bright as day, Bitcoin came all the way back down and recovered all of that wick. How frightening is that? Look, check this out. You can see all of that wick has been completely recovered and they tapped that last pool of liquidity to the T. Now, to all of my guys that have been with me for quite some time, there is no way that you can't challenge this. But more importantly, just look at the precision of the market maker. He taps that zone right there. Okay? Look left, look right, sorry. And you can see that is disgusting. Look at the precision. Now, if this doesn't verify that the market maker, okay, comes to the chart and he will always bring price back down to previous vector candle zones, I don't know what else to show to you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Now remember, he can't completely collapse price and keep going down to every single vector candle. He has to give traders the impression that things are going to regulate and step back into normality. But the same way he's created this wick right here, he's done exactly the same right here as well. So where do we expect Bitcoin to go next, ladies and gentlemen? Well, coming up to the weekend, guys, you can see bright as day that Bitcoin is going to slowly make its way, based on what I understand, it's going to try and make its way back down to this point, okay? If and only if they mean business, given that over the weekend it can be a lot of volatility on very light volume, they may regulate price around the 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, which is the 200 EMA on the 4 hour time frame, okay? Now, if we flip over to the 4 hour time frame itself, you will see bright as day, that's where they could actually bring price. Why? Because then it will bring us back into the previous accumulation zone that they came from, and we have ourselves another pool of liquidity. They come back for all of the vectors. If it's not now, it will be later. Now, on the higher time frames, you can see that Bitcoin has made a nice sharp recovery back up because all the shorts now have been squashed, okay? The 4 hour candle was giving you the clue that they may be finalizing with this move to the downside and preparing to induce traders to go short on the next candle, because what they did with this candle right here was they attacked the lows and committed the retail trader to go short, range daily low at the lows right here, and then they bounced away from it. If I pull up this chart right here, as you can see, Bitcoin came all the way down to the range daily low on MT4 and bounced straight away from it. Happy days for anyone that went long off the range daily low, because I know there are traders out there in the Traders Reality channel that exploit these sort of situations. Okay? Now it's the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So now we got to sit tight and wait and see what Bitcoin is going to do next. We do have these pools of liquidity up here that they may come back up towards, but we need to see a clean break above the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame for us to verify that Bitcoin is going to make another attempt at the high. If it finds weakness and recovers all of this green vector candle, this may be the journey that Bitcoin is likely to take. If we do get the retrace back up, it may stabilize over the weekend. We might see some spiky behavior, and then we might just see a progressive move to the downside. Sunday will bring in, and we might see a movement back up and then try and attack this low. That's only on the basis that they do that, okay? Because they could also go the opposite direction. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is a game of guessing because we don't know what's going to happen next. We're in the game of uncertainty. You can't make the assumption that there's technical analysis that's going to tell you where price is going to end up guaranteed. Now, the traders that succeed in the game of trading is they work in probabilities. They work on risk. They say to themselves, I'm going to place a long in this area and hope that Bitcoin rises. Well, guess what? Bitcoin could actually rise over the next 24 hours. They may have taken their profit, but then it could actually collapse down. But that trader would have realized his profit because he set his target in place. He knew where he wanted to get out and he knew how much money he was going to risk. The problem with traders new that come to the game of trading is they think that as long as it keeps rising, it means that their profit's going to stay in their position and price is going to keep on doing that because everything is rising and everyone's talking about Bitcoin going to 100K. So wherever that retail trader decides to buy from, it's the point that they're going to see price move. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, this is the nature of the game, guys. The idea is to... The game of trading itself is designed to make you believe one thing is happening when another thing is really happening behind the scenes. Ask yourself, why is it that price always turns at particular points in the chart? Why is it when you see a big green candlestick like this, price pulls back? Why is it where everything at the climatic point in the chart where you expect it to continue higher, it always pulls back? I'll take you back to school again. Do you remember El Salvador declaring that Bitcoin was now officially legal tender? Bitcoin was rising, man. Yeah? Bitcoin was rising. Nice. Where was that move? There it is. 6th or 7th September. Bitcoin was rising. It was from this point people were talking about Bitcoin going to 100K. Wonderful. But then look what happened. Legal tender. A country adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. That's great news for Bitcoin. Doesn't matter how big the country is. It's the endorsement of crypto. What a great time to drop on everyone. Because all the money is committed in the chart. Because every single day someone is working out, should I buy or should I sell? Bang. They dropped it. 2 hours. It took them 2 hours to drop this. On the 4-hour time frame. 2 hours to move price in that direction. And that day was fast. All right? But guess what they did? They recovered all of the wick. The imbalance happened. They came down and tapped it a little bit. They formed another wick. They moved away from the zone. Then they came all the way back down and recovered the whole bad boy. Is history repeating itself, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go over here. What's going on here? Are we seeing the same thing? Let knowledge serve me correctly. Full recovery of the wick. Another wick. Retrace back up. Continuation to the downside. I hope that puts things into perspective for you, ladies and gentlemen. Ethereum. Now, Ethereum and Bitcoin, they seem to have this beef, okay? Look at what Ethereum did today. She too came down to hit the previous pool of liquidity and the wick itself, okay? But she's now left us with another wick. She does look like she's forming a pattern. So if we adjust it, we can see that could be the start of a W formation. All right? Coming from the high, all the way down, holding at the 200 EMA. Ethereum looks like she's on her way to recovering the previous pool of liquidity right here. Very promising. But there's nothing else upside here. So it's a good chance that they're going to come back up, refill this imbalance in the chart. And when price gets to this zone right here, that is when we're going to work out where we're going to go next. Because if they do hit this zone right here and they find resistance at the 50 EMA, they're likely to pull it back down. Okay? Out of the altcoins, Solana's took a battering. Previous pool of liquidity, achieved. Next pool of liquidity, nearly on its way. But keep an eye out. Another zone right here that they're likely to bring price back down to. You see, Solana's really good like Ethereum. It respects zones, but when the momentum steps into Solana, that is when it moves. Okay? Fantastic move by Solana in the previous weekend. It just did not stop. Then it just makes a burn to the downside. Recovery of all this liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. There is a plethora of coins out there that are going to be doing this sort of thing. OMG. Now, there was this this airdrop with OMG, which pretty much caused the drop in price from the all-time high, if I'm correct. But not OMG. Oh, sorry. Let me just go get OMG up for you. Here it is. There we go. This is the airdrop. Okay. Now, I'm not too tuned in on the ideas of airdrops. I'll be straight with you. I'm a pure trader that just looks at charts. Okay. Now, for me, how was I to understand that this was likely to happen? Now, I didn't know that they were going to drop price this aggressively, but I did see that they were preparing to mark price higher in anticipation to move it down lower. Now, if by hypothetically assuming that I was to go short at this point right here, you damn well know I was going to hold that trade because I was not given a reason for it to go back up against me. Okay? Now, listen. We've been talking about OMG in the channel on the Altcoin Bosses video, okay? On the playlist. Go check it out. And we spoke about the fact that they would come back up. The history of OMG shows, okay, that it always likes to make pumps and pull straight back. Now, we came up to this point in the chart right here. 1, 2, 3 pushes to the upside. Blue vector candle reverses price. Deviation away from the 50 EMA. They need to bring it back into the fray. The same thing happened over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 pushes to the upside. Okay, so Market Maker was marking up his shorts at the highest possible point because he would have committed as many traders as possible to go long on OMG. Then they start the breakdown. Then they flush out all the short sellers, and then they contain the zone with this stopping volume candle right here. And that was a sign that things are going to continue back to the downside at minimum to try and obtain the previous pool of liquidity right here. Well, they had other things in mind. They completely blew the zone out. And if you look left, you can see there is another pool of liquidity right there that they attacked. And look at where we are. Now, with such a big move to the downside, market makers understand this. They've just gone long at the lowest possible point because everyone has gone long themselves. Okay? The retail trader goes long, so the market maker goes short. Now, in order for him to obtain price in this zone like this, he uses a reason, maybe a news announcement, an airdrop, for example, and then he makes a rush to the liquidation points by all the retail traders that are holding OMG, and they've got liquidation points alive, and they are accessible. That's why it moves so aggressively to the downside, because they tapped all of those liquidation points in the chart, okay? And they release that liquidity so that they can open up their longs and close shorts at the same time. Looking at the altcoin bosses list itself, you can see that we haven't had that many winners today, okay? Helium has done really well to contain its gains. It's now made 1, 2, 3 hits to the high. We are working our way towards recovering this wick right here, but the time of day that it is right now, ladies and gentlemen, things might start to slow down. So we are likely to see them bringing price down a little bit and contain around the 50 EMA over the weekend, okay? Algo's done really well, okay, in the last couple of hours. It's moved nicely to the upside and spiked up to the $2.36. I was expecting them to come up towards the $2.40, so I'll take a 40 pence, a 4 pence adjustment on that. So 240. We ended up at $2.36 right there, $2.3637. Happy days. I'll take that. Why? Because in this zone right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the previous wicks and the pools of liquidity that they previously came from. Okay. Looking at XPR, still moving up, but look at it. It's recovering a previous pool of liquidity right there. So it's going to make that run for profit. Okay. Mana. Been doing really well with Mana, to be honest with you. Expected it to come to $3.20, and it did more than that. Came all the way up to nearly $3.50, $3.47. They came back and recovered all the previous pools of liquidity and the wicks right here. For every wick, it's a vector candle. Can you see it? Stopping volume candle right there, very small. That is a vector. Stopping volume candle, that's a vector. Stopping volume candle, that's a vector right there. Okay? Funnily enough, you see another blue vector candle right there. We always seem to see blue vector candles appearing at the points in the chart where they are ready to turn the direction. Okay? Moving forward, guys, I advise you, okay? And this is not financial advice. This is common sense, okay? When you come to these charts, don't be hyped up on things moving fast, okay? They are designed by nature to make you act irrationally. Because the only thing that is relevant in the game of trading is when you commit your money to the charts. Before all of that, you are nothing to the market maker. But once the market maker comes to the table and you join him and you put your liquidity down and he matches it, that's the only time that you are important to the market maker. Why? Because, unfortunately, we are deemed as dumb money. Why? Because they have more of it than what we have. Their pockets are not deep. They are oblivious. They go to the depths of the core of the earth. That's how deep they are. But it doesn't mean that they don't want to make a profit. We supply their profit. Go and look at how many liquidation points have been hit today, ladies and gentlemen. That's dead money. That's people not paying themselves and holding on to positions because they are hopeful. They are praying. They are wishful. They've got the car that they want to buy for the, for their dream car, their dream house. They've got a trade that is in the negative that if they do close, they're going to take a hit and the missus is going to slap them up. Don't trade like that, guys. Fast in, fast out. That's the nature of this game. You see a profit, take it. Loopring. This coin has been doing very well and she's so far following the direction. If you look at the Altcoin Bosses playlist videos, you will see that we've been talking about Loopring and its development of this move so far. I'm expecting Loopring to come down and attack these zones right here because that's where, ladies and gentlemen, the pools of liquidity are. The liquidation points, the stop losses. And it's funny that all brokers say to traders out there, always manage your risk and always set a stop loss. They are so kind to us, ladies and gentlemen. They are really nice to let us know that we need to make sure that we showcase where our money is at, where we can default on our account. I think they are so kind to say that to us. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game of trading. This is the hardest, easiest way to make money. And the sooner you come to understand that this game is about dog eat dog world kind of mentality, then you'll understand that whenever you see a profit in the chart, you take it. Because you never knew it was going to be a profit. Doesn't matter how many indicators you use, whatever signals you get, it doesn't matter. Nothing is guaranteed in this game. The only guarantee that I can give you is tomorrow there will always be another opportunity to trade. That's the guarantee I can give you. But that guarantee can only be applied if you allow yourself to be in that position. That means if you close losing trades, take the hit, no matter what percentage it's burning you at. If you're allowing your account to deplete and lose nearly 50-60% of your account's value, trading is not for you, my friends. Okay? That's why we say cut your losses quick, because you can recover from a 5% loss. You can recover from an 8% loss. You can recover from an 11% loss. But when you start losing 20, 30, 40% losses, you need to maintain 100% just to break even. That is going to be a bit trying for the average retail trader. Don't put yourselves in those positions, guys. Trade light. Okay? DOT has taken a battering to the downside as well, ladies and gentlemen. She's come back down to that previous pool of liquidity. You see, anyone that keeps saying, I missed out on the big move to the upside, you just know full well that they are looking at things the wrong way. Because remember, when price is moving up, you know they're preparing for a move to the downside because they're going to come back to these zones of liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. That I can guarantee. Why? Because the market maker wants to make money. He's not in the business of just providing us the liquidity so that we can trade. Nah. He wants to, he's on the hunt. Yeah? Going back to Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, to finalize everything, I hope that what I've just said to you just puts things into perspective, okay? Moving forward, just be careful over the weekend, guys, okay? The weekend is known for quite volatile behavior. They can just release any news about anything and they can just send price up and down. The most busiest times during the week, ladies and gentlemen, are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those are the key points in the chart. They are the busiest times of the week because that's where the most amount of liquidity passes through each and every hand of a trader out there, whether it's a market maker, brokers, exchanges, institutional fund managers, you name it. Those are the key times that they are passing money around. If you can't make money on those 3 days, why on earth are you trying it at the weekend? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that some people don't have the time to trade at the weekends. If you do have the time only at the weekends, then keep it as cheap as possible. Don't aim to make money at the weekend. Aim to make an accurate trade. The true success of trading and the true currency of trading is the success of the trade, because the money's going to come after anyway. So if you focus your priorities on being accurate with your entry and not hoping to make money on any entry that you make, and not having any structure, not thinking systematically and objectively when you come to the charts, come away from it. There's no point if you're not going to have that mindset. Save your money. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, mad love and respect for passing through. Okay? I'll be catching up with you guys tomorrow at some point for another edition of the Altcoin Bosses, just to summarize what's been going on from now up until the Saturday. But I want to thank you all. It's been a pleasure helping you guys understand what's going on. My charts do look like a 5-year-old's drawing board, but it's a method to the madness, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm doing my hardest to make sure that you guys understand exactly what it is that is going on in this game. Because it's not 100%, but I can improve the chances of a trade going in my direction if I understand the business model. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I won't be live streaming tonight, but I'll just give you the levels as we just spoke about earlier on with Bitcoin. You can kind of guess the idea of where price is likely to make its way based from now until later on tonight. Asia might manipulate the zone, so just be careful, and it might be a quiet time this evening, okay? Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, go have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Rest up, reflect, and I will catch up with you on Sunday. Mad love and respect to all of you. Take care of yourselves. Peace.